The second you take something out of your head, put it into a physical format, if it's an aesthetic creation, it is copyrighted. Painting, copyrighted. Poem, write it down, copyrighted. Poem, recorded on a videotape, recorded audio, copyrighted. Poem, write it on my dome here. I think I shall never see in my bald spot. A poem as lovely as a tree, copyrighted. If I register the copyright, then I have much stronger enforcement rights. That's why I consider copyright a little different than trade secret. Really, the registration is imperative if you're going to really go out and enforce it. The key thing about copyright is, unless a contract specifically says this is a work for hire, the presumption is the copyright remains with the person who is the author of the work or the creator of the work. So you want to be very careful about that. What's the advantage of copyrights when we're going out to commercialize? Well, there's a couple. One, trade secrets are indefinite. As long as it's a secret, you can enforce it. Patents, on the other hand, are limited in time. I believe it's 20 years now. Copyrights have longer limitations on them. It's a certain period of the life of the author plus a certain period thereafter, typically much longer than the period of a patent. And, of course, if the manuals, the photographs that go with it, all these things may have value that enhance the underlying technology, and those endure. So there is a benefit to copywriting them, just like the material that you're seeing here is all copyrighted by Foresight. That allows me to, when I'm licensing it or selling it, to have two things to sell: the underlying technology and the manuals and everything that go with it. I've reduced both of those to property. Software is often protected with copyright because it's what you've written. As we saw with the patenting situation, there's a question of whether it makes sense to protect it by trade secret or to disclose it and copyright it. When you do software in firmware, it's harder, and you can't get it out unless you destroy the chip, unless you destroy the software and you can't see it. There's no reason to copyright it. That way you can protect it without disclosing it. So you do have to remember that when you disclose things, you allow others to design around it. It's very easy to design around a work of art. You just sort of paint it differently. You can paint the same subject. Here's flowers. Obviously, other people have painted flowers. We saw earlier these ladies who were flying with the holding the feathers. Well, there's two different ones. If this was the one created by one lady and that one was created by another lady, there may not be a copyright violation because they're different, and particularly if they were painted differently and had slightly different body shapes and all that kind of stuff. People do leverage off of other people's things. That's one reason that copyright and patent are implemented. They give you a monopoly so that you can exploit your own creations, but they disclose it so that other people can build off of it. And that has both pluses and minuses, as is kind of obvious. Okay, that's copyright. So now we've seen patent, copyright, and trade secret. We're going to, before I move on, I just want to indicate there was a problem with the masks used to make chips, semiconductors, the laying up of the circuits. People said, well, those aren't really aesthetic, so they shouldn't qualify for copyright. So they put a new category in called mask, which allows you to make patterns that can be protected and thus cannot be copied without the permission of the originator. Well, now we've done trade secret, patents and copyrights. Let's go on to trademarks next.